Hi everyone, welcome to day 6 of our FCHS Fitness Challenge. Today I thought we would really focus on some balance exercises. So we're just gonna hold certain positions for about 30 seconds each that are gonna target our core and our legs. And we're gonna see how we do with that. So balance can be a little challenging. So make sure you have a wall or a chair handy. You'll see me pull my chair more into the shot in a little bit. I love balance because I'm terrible at it, so it means I need to work on it, right? We all have that thing that we need to work on. So we're gonna do that today, this morning. So I'm gonna back up a little bit so you guys can see me better. And we're gonna start with our legs here. We're just gonna warm up nice and easy. I'm gonna turn on my watch here so I have a good timer. And we're gonna shift all our weight into, I'm gonna say the right leg. We're gonna shift the weight into the right leg here. It doesn't matter which one you start with because we're gonna do both. And I'm just gonna lift my left foot off the floor and I'm gonna try to hold this for 30 seconds. Okay, if you need to tap the foot down, please be safe, don't fall over on my account. I have my chair here in case they start to wobble. Would have helped if I pulled it closer to me to start with. And we're already about halfway through. We're 15 seconds. You can see I'm starting to wobble a little bit. The wobbles are good. Woo! That means we're building that strength. Okay, I'm gonna just keep my hand on my chair and we're gonna switch now, okay? So you can shake out that ankle if you need to. All right, and we're gonna shift the weight into the left leg and we're gonna lift the right foot off the ground. Okay, whoop. We're about 10 seconds in here. I was gonna say, usually my left side goes a little bit better, but it doesn't look like it is today. All right, we're almost there. We have 5 more seconds. And we're gonna put both feet back on the ground. That's where they like to be. Our next one, I'll turn to the side so you can see me a little bit better. We're just gonna come up on the toes. Okay, so we're gonna raise up on the toes and we're gonna try to hold this. You'll feel burning in your calf muscles. Try not to fall backwards. All right. And as we get further in this, it is gonna get more challenging because your calves are gonna get tired. Okay, so if you need to drop those heels down, you absolutely can. We're gonna go for about 10 more seconds here. Whoop. And we're gonna slowly lower those heels back down to the floor. I'm gonna face forward again. We're gonna go back to that standing on one foot, but now we're gonna bring the leg out to the side. So I'm gonna shift all my weight into the right foot again, but try to keep this hip square. I'm gonna bring this left foot out, and I'm just gonna hold it here. I'm gonna try to keep my torso straight throughout this, really using that core to keep myself balanced. Okay, you're gonna feel some work in the right glute, the stabilizing leg, and probably in the outside of this left leg too. Okay, we're gonna go for about 10 more seconds here. If you need a break, feel free to take it. This is a very challenging one here. But it really messes with our center of gravity, right? Because we have one leg that's out here, and the rest of us is here, and we're gonna bring that foot down. All right, we're gonna do the same thing on the left side. So we're gonna shift the weight into the left leg, and we'll bring that right foot out. And you'll see I'm not like super out like this, just a little bit off the ground. Okay, we're just working on some of those side stabilizing muscles. When we fall, it's usually in a strange way, right? It's usually in a direction we're not expecting. We don't do a lot of lateral motion in our everyday life, so it's important to kind of work on that sort of stability here. We're gonna go for 10 more seconds. I needed 2 chairs today. My table is so far. And we'll bring that foot down. Gonna do one more kind of as like a balancing on one foot kind of thing. So I'm gonna balance again on my right leg, and I'm gonna bring the knee up this time like an exaggerated march in place. So instead of just lifting the foot off the ground, I have my knee in this position. Okay, so you might feel some work in your quad here, but again, you wanna feel that core kick in to keep the leg up and the balance in this leg. Use that chair if you need to, that's why it's there. Okay. Feel like a tree. Okay, we're gonna go down. And one more time, we're gonna balance in that left foot. Bring the right foot up. And when you get really good at these exercises, you can start to add some arm motion in to mess with that center of gravity again. We're not gonna do that today, but we'll do it in some future videos, so stay tuned. We're gonna go for 5 more seconds. And we're gonna bring that foot down. Our last one before we get to the mat and do some more core work, we're going to just kind of tightrope the feet. So there's a few ways to do this. If I'm actually gonna face this way because I need my chair. Few ways to do this one. If you don't have the best balance, we can kind of keep the feet a little further apart to kind of widen that center of gravity, so we'll still work the balance, but we won't be putting ourselves in a precarious position. All right, if your balance is a little bit better, or if you want to challenge yourself today, bring those feet heel to toe, okay? And that's really going to minimize how much kind of surface area you're taking up, right? So you'll probably feel those legs kicking a little bit if you're doing this variation. You can see I'm wobbling a lot more than I was than when my feet were further apart. Okay, so we're gonna hold this for about 10 more seconds. And then we're gonna bring the feet side to side, let those legs kind of shake out a little bit. Do like a hokey pokey kind of thing, whatever works for you. And then we're gonna do the same thing. So I originally had my right foot forward. I'm gonna bring that right foot behind my left. I'm gonna try to stagger. Woo! Gonna try to tightrope those feet. We need more balance in our future. Look at me. Oh my goodness. Okay. See, this just goes to show that even when we exercise frequently, we still have that thing that we need to work on, and we're not going to be perfect every day. We might not be perfect at all. That's okay. That's why we do it, right? Better than the day before. Just kind of scary if you're looking at my balance. You're probably like, oh my gosh, it was worse than this before. We're going to go for 3 more seconds here. And I'm going to bring that foot back next to my left foot where it likes to be. It likes to be here. Then I'm going to move my chair out of the way here. I'm going to come down to the floor. So if you have a mat, feel free to get on it. I'm going to lay on my back first. And if you guys were watching the videos earlier this week in our strength training, we did some glute bridges. We're going to do essentially that same thing right now, but when we bring the hips up, we're going to hold them there. Okay, so I'm going to bring the hips up off the mat towards the ceiling. All right, looking up towards the ceiling, and I'm going to hold this for 30 seconds. If your back starts to hurt or it gets to be too much, just lower those hips down, okay? You don't have to hold it for the whole 30 seconds if you're not ready for that yet. We build up to that. Okay. So we're gonna hang out here, really plant those feet in, push through those heels. Almost there. We're gonna go for about 3 more seconds. And we're going to slowly lower that back down, those glutes down, and then I'm going to slowly roll over. And we're going to do some planks. So we're going to start with a full plank here. There's a couple ways to do this. So if you've done my videos before, I usually do my planks like this with my feet pushing me off, and I'm on my elbows because my elbows tend to lock out when I'm in a fully extended position. Some people like it better to come up all the way like this. All right, might be a little easier on the shoulders that way. It's really a matter of how you feel in your body, okay? If this is too intense, and if you're just starting out, it might be, okay, to be up on the toes, we can drop down to our knees and hold the plank that way, okay? So when you're doing this exercise, you really want to feel your entire core light up, okay? You're going to feel some work in your shoulders, your core, maybe your back, your glutes. It's really a full body exercise, but we want most of the work to be from that core. So you want to be in whatever position that allows you to do that most effectively. Okay, we don't want to put unnecessary strain on other parts of our body. A common like compensation method that I know I use is my shoulders. Okay, if I'm doing a plank for too long, I start to hunch and push from my shoulders instead of bracing in my core. So just be mindful of that as we go through this. We're going to try to hold for 30 seconds. Okay, so if you start on your toes and start to get tired, drop down to those knees. Don't put yourself in a bad position, just trying to make the time. Okay, so we're going to come up here. I'm going to reset. I always start laying down on my stomach. All right, we're going to plant those hands. If you're up on your palms, your hands are going to be directly underneath your shoulders. If you're going to do the elbows, your elbows will be underneath your shoulders. We're going to press through those hands, come up on the toes or the knees. We're just going to hold this. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys when we hit 15 seconds if you only want to do half, because it is a very intense exercise. Right, if you're doing 15 seconds, you can relax here, take the next 15 off. Ooh, good way to wake up. We're going to go for 5 more seconds for those of you still hanging in there with me. And we're going to drop those knees down, come down nice and slow. We're going to do one more exercise, but it's going to be one of those that's technically 2 because we're going to do it on both sides. We're going to roll over on our side here. The elbow's going to be underneath the shoulder again, or if you are really brave, you can come up on the palm for this one too. Okay, we're going to do a side plank, so we're going to work mostly this side of the body. A couple ways to do this. We can come up on the knees if this is the first time you're doing this exercise. That's a good way to do it. You'd come up like this and try to keep this side off the ground. If you're doing the full side plank, you'd come up on those toes. You can stagger the feet, okay, or you can stack them on top of each other. And this one we're only going to do for 15 seconds because it's very challenging. We'll work up to 30 on this one. All right, we're going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop down. You can switch sides. And we'll do the same thing, okay? So the elbow will be under the shoulder. I'm gonna pop those hips up. And you can keep the arm overhead like this. All right, I usually just keep it here. You just don't really want to be using this arm and putting extra pressure on that shoulder trying to keep yourself balanced. You want it out of the way. All right, come on down. Ooh. And then we'll do some stretches because we did quite a bit of balancing there. So the first one that we're going to do, we'll do a figure 4 stretch to kind of bring those, stretch out that lateral side of the leg that we were doing, those glutes. So you can plant the foot. If your hips are really tight, it might help to have the foot further from you. All right, we're going to cross this ankle over the knee. We're going to hold it like this. We want those shoulders nice and relaxed. So you guys probably can't even see my foot in the shot because it's so far from my body. But if you need a deeper stretch, you can bring that foot in a little bit. You'll see that I'm now tilted backwards and my shoulders are in my ears. But that's a way to get a deeper stretch. I'm gonna do that a little more comfortable. Then we're gonna switch the feet. So same thing, other side. All right. Ooh, this is a good stretch. All right, we're gonna lay back down on our back, and then we're just gonna hug the knee into the chest. And then I like to add in some ankle circles at this point if I'm doing balance work. Just kind of loosen up all those muscles. Switch directions. Okay. And we'll straighten that foot out. You can point it and flex it. You might hear some snap, crackle, pop, as they say. Some cracking in that joint. I always do. Hopefully you guys can't hear that because it's kind of gross. Now we're gonna bring that foot back. It's gonna point towards the ceiling, and we're just gonna try to wave the foot without moving our knee, okay? We only want to move at this ankle joint. You can see I'm not the best at this either, right? My leg's starting to move a little bit. I'm trying to only move at the ankle, but it's hard. Okay, I'm gonna put this leg down, I'm gonna extend it out, and I'll bring that left knee in, hug it nice and tight. Nice stretch in that inner hip. And I'm gonna circle my foot, my toes. Ooh. I'm gonna switch directions. Doesn't really want to go that way today. Right? That's why we work on our mobility, right? Eventually that range of motion does get a little bit better. And I'm gonna point my foot just towards the ceiling. I'm gonna point it towards my back wall here and bring that up towards my face. I'm gonna point, we'll flex. You should get a nice stretch in your calf throughout this too, which is good, right? You're working a lot of those lower leg muscles today, keeping that stability. And I'm gonna do one more point, one more flex, and then I'm gonna try to wave this foot. Ooh, lots of cracking. Gonna do one more wave, and I'm gonna bring my foot back to the ground. Just extend those hands up. Nice stretch. I know I'm not in the shot anymore, but my hands are above my head and my feet are pointed towards the wall. Really feeling that in my core, my whole body actually. And I'm gonna bring those hands back. I'm gonna slowly get up here. And you are done. Congratulations, good balance work. Hopefully no one fell. You gotta keep your handy dandy chair there. All right, we're gonna do another video tomorrow. Probably combine some strength training and some cardio in there, get a bit of a mix. If you have time today, be sure to check out Jen's pineapple tea video that she's doing at 11 o'clock live today on our Facebook page. If you can't make the live, it'll be on there later in the day whenever you want to view it. All our videos stay on our page. Okay, so be sure to check that out. I know I'm excited to try it. And I will see you guys tomorrow for our next workout. All right, bye.